In a small, forgotten village nestled deep within the mountains of Japan, there stood an ancient house known to be inhabited by a Zashiki Warashi, a childlike spirit known for bringing fortune to those it favored. Taro, a young man from the city, arrived in the village seeking solace after a string of personal failures. His business had collapsed, his relationships had crumbled, and his spirit was broken. The village, with its serene landscape and the whispers of supernatural tales, seemed like the perfect place to find some peace and perhaps hope. He had heard of the old house and its mystical inhabitant. The villagers spoke of the Zashiki Warashi in hushed tones, recounting tales of sudden prosperity and inexplicable good fortune. Some were skeptical, dismissing the stories as mere folklore. Curious and with nothing left to lose, Taro decided to stay in the house. The first few nights were quiet. Taro heard nothing but the rustling of the trees and the distant hoot of an owl. He began to wonder if the stories were just that, stories. However, on the fourth night, he was awoken by the sound of soft laughter and the pitter-patter of small feet running through the hallways. He sat up, his heart pounding, and saw a fleeting shadow dart past his door. The next morning, he found a small wooden top, intricately carved, placed neatly on the table in the living room. He smiled, feeling a strange sense of warmth. He took it as a sign that the Zashiki Warashi had accepted him. From that day on, he made sure to leave out small offering sweets, toys, and sometimes even a handwritten note expressing his gratitude. Slowly, things began to change. Taro started to feel more at peace, his mind clearer and his heart lighter. He began to work on his old business ideas with renewed vigor, sketching out plans and reaching out to old contacts. Miraculously, opportunities began to arise. Investors showed interest, partners reconnected, and soon, his business was back on its feet, stronger than ever before. Word of Taro's success spread through the village, and the villagers couldn't help but attribute it to the benevolent Zashiki Warashi. Taro, grateful beyond words, decided to stay in the village permanently. Years passed and Taro grew old. One winter night, as he sat by the fire, he felt a familiar presence. He looked up and saw the faint outline of a child standing in the doorway, smiling at him with eyes full of mischief and kindness. "Thank you," Taro whispered, tears welling up in his eyes. The figure nodded, and with a final laugh, vanished into the shadows, leaving behind the small wooden top that Taro had kept all these years as a reminder of the extraordinary friendship that had changed his life. The Zashiki Warashi continued to watch over the house, ensuring that its inhabitants, whoever they might be, were always blessed with good fortune, as long as they remembered to honor the spirit and the magic it brought into their lives.